Hello and welcome, I am Raziel, and today we are talking about the Space Wolves, the sons of, what's his name? Leman Russ. Every time I ever think of Leman Russ, my brain goes to the tank, not one of the most boring Primarchs. I mean, he's no Rogue or Dawn, don't get me wrong, but he tends to be a bit of a one-note character, which is really it's quite a shame, to be honest with you. And it kind of goes with the rest of the Space Wolves. How do you mess up werewolves Vikings in space? Jeez, that sounds awesome. Werewolf Vikings in space. And that kind of it represents the biggest problem with them. Now, who are the Space Wolves? Well, they are the sons of Leman Russ. They come from Fenris. They are an original legion. They've only just got successors since the Primaris, which again kind of raises more questions and shouldn't have been done given it was quite unique to them. And there you go. And they're Vikings. They have a Viking theme. Now that's where the first problem comes in. Their Viking theme. They don't have a Viking theme. They have a Viking personality. It's their whole being. It's kind of boring and played out. Vikings are awesome. I love the fact. But it should just be a theme, something that gives them a bit of flavour, a bit of colour, their runes, their wolf pouts, all of that, and the way they sort of organise themselves. But to have them as this almost barbaric and sometimes beyond stupid mindset of, savagery and berserkerism and all that, yeah, it kind of makes them bad. See, here's the thing, when you have a theme around an army, something that sort of gives them a bit of flavour, a bit of colour. How these Dark Angels are secretive. They are a secretive chapter. It gives them a nice bit of flavour. But their personalities aren't always shrouded in secrecy. It's there to see, but they do excel outside of it, and their stories are better because of it. However, with the Space Wolves, their stories tend to become boring because of it. An interesting aspect of this is Leman Russ. Leman Russ decided, out of all his intelligence, to go and face Horus. Because he was told not to, and he was stupid. And that's because, I need to avenge this, blah, 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 right? No Primarch would have done that. No sensible Primarch would have done this. Well, several Primarchs told him not to do this because it's a stupid idea. But Leman Russ, being the Viking, decided to go ahead and do it anyway. And what happened to him? He got messed up again. And that's the other thing. This brutish, Borish attitude of his, which he has because he's a Viking in space, tends to get his ass kicked on the regular. He got his ass kicked by Lionel Johnson. He got his ass kicked by Angron. He got his ass kicked by Horus. Yeah, he's boorish, and it never ends well. If it ended well for him, it might be different. Oh, but it wasn't fair. It was a cheap shot. It's a cheap shot that put him in a coma. Fine, okay? The same goes with the Space Wolves as well. Let's talk about the Months of Shame. This is where it really kind of excels. This, back in the old lore, was quite interesting because they actually had intelligence before they decided to go and fight the Inquisition. The people that could literally order Fenris to be exterminatus, they decided to fight. In the old lore, Ulrich the Slayer says to Logan Grimnar, and go, hey dude, let's not do this. This sounds like a bad idea. You're going to cost more lives than, it's a stupid idea. Logan Grimnar goes, blah, 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 throws a Kylo Ren, wrecks the place, but they back off, no bloodshed. But that sounds sensible. It shows that Viking side to them as a nice bit of flavour. That's how how his attitude is. But it showed an ounce of common sense as a warrior that the outcome was not going to be worth the fight. There you go. And that's the Viking bit. This boorish attitude that they have to always go and fight when anyone slightly wronged them. They're Space Marines, not squats. Okay? They don't have a book of grudges. They're not meant to hold things against themselves. How, if you even look at some of the Viking stuff, it kind of just seems stupid to have this attitude where they need to pick a fight whenever it's possible. To even have Lucas the Trickster in your army, in your company, you need to lose a fight. He's a booby prize. Other than, judging Lucas Trickster as he is, untrustworthy, but a damn good warrior and a damn good trickster, and an actual asset most of the time, it would have been a bonus to any company to have him. But to be so up your own arse and so boorish that we don't want this person in our army, blah, 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 blah. I'm doing that a lot in this video. But it really does show what the Space Wolves are. They decide to fight to see that the loser gets him. So the loser gets a bonus in their army. It's boorish. I mean, I like the Mead Hall idea. I like the camaraderie of it all. That entire thing is cool. It's nice flavour to it. But when you just make that your entire thing, basic drunken Vikings fighting in power armour, yeah, it gets boring, and it gets boring fast. The next bit is their gene flaw. I said gene flaws are great. I love gene flaws in Space Marines. They add lots and lots of depth into our army. It makes them actually have a weakness worth talking about and then worth worrying about. And the Blood Angels, of course, with their Black Rage, is very exemplified. They know this thing, it happens, they know it exists, and they do their utmost to stop it. And it's also shown in their books how bad and how much it affects them. With the Space Wolves and the chance that they might turn into a werewolf, however, that rarely comes up. I think in all the books it comes up like 5 times at best, and that's it. But now think about this. This is what bothers me. When you have a gene flaw, which a chapter, a company, or whatever has to worry about, and then you see it how it affects them. It adds this depth to them that they have to kind of consider. One of them might end up turning into a massive monster and end up eating the rest of the company. There would be suspicion. There would be paranoia. It would break through that Viking facade of roguish, that roguish attitude. But they're suddenly thinking, wait, who's going to turn next? Are we going to have to kill one of our brothers because he's suddenly decided to think that pedigree chum is better than whatever they serve in the mead hall? Or they want to start going for walkies regularly? That paranoia, or even that, that you could have a Space Wolf knowing he's changing and having those panic attacks on what's going to happen to him. He's going to be killed by his brothers. He's not going to get that courage and honour that, the Space Wolves love and demand, just to suddenly go, hey, I'm going to be killed by my best mate here. It would add so much more intrigue and interest into the Space Wolf storyline. And finally, bring Leman Russ back. I don't often say bring Primarchs back because often they're quite fun to have them away. But bring him back and see what's happened to the Imperium. He would loathe it. He would be like, wait, this is not what the Emperor wanted. The Emperor wanted glory, gold, everything to be magnificent and everyone would be happy. But he wanted, the Empire of Magcrag to be everywhere, even though it wouldn't suit Leman Russ, but he would understand what the Emperor wanted, and he could go out and fight the enemies of the Emperor properly, be the executioner he's meant to be. However, I don't think Games Workshop know how to bring him back. He's in the warp somewhere. Is he going to come back changed? Is he going to come back as a big werewolf? If he does, what's he going to do about those who actually turn into werewolves? Does he keep them as lapdogs? But yeah, the Space Wolves could do with a lot of work within their lore. First thing, like I said, let's just do some. Keep the Viking thing as a theme, a bit of flavour, a nice little touch of sinister qua to them. Get rid of almost that Borish attitude and add it with paranoia. When, who's going to turn next into a werewolf? Akin to The Thing by John Carpenter. Who's next sort of thing. This guy's suddenly going from power armoured buddy to power armoured thing with massive teeth and claws. How do the Space Wolves feel when they kill one of their own brothers once they turned into it? It was mentioned once. I think it's... which book is it in? God, I think that is Lucas the Trickster. It's not Lucas the Trickster. I can't think which one it is now. Anyway, but it happened one. It was like, oh, we've got to kill him. Oh, no, he's my brother. Oh, bang, dead. That was pretty much what happened when a Space Wolf turned into a werewolf in front of them. And, yeah, basically that was it. there should have been a lot more to it than that. This is an interesting concept which is rarely even shown. Anyway, you can't show the good guys to have weakness now, can you? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make Space Wolves great again. And I'll see you all in the next one. And as always, link to Wayland Games down below. As always, save up to 20% on your Warhammer and free delivery after £20. Then there is Forbidden Planet for comics, t-shirts, manga, DVDs, all cool stuff, toys, plushies, etc. There's my merchandise, t-shirts, cups, stickers, and finally my comics. Oh, which is about Little Red Riding Hood fighting werewolves. Isn't that convenient? And next, and finally, there is... What? There is... Oh, Skyforge. Go give that guy a click. He's a good friend of mine. Bye-bye.